Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends animated series retro carded Spider-Man. And I finally got this, not because I was able to find one myself, but because Dave on Instagram was a big help. He got it one for me at cost. I don't know if he had it laying around or he was able to get one. I'm not sure what the story was, but either way, he sent it to me for cost. So big thanks to him. There is a link to his Instagram page in the description of the video if you want to check him out and say, hey, thanks, we like the review that you provided. Anyway, big thanks to him. And this figure is one that I was very much looking forward to. I love the 90s cartoons, and we're going to do our question of the day right now. Which of the 90s comic-based cartoons was your favorite? You have Batman, X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, there's a bunch. For me, it was Batman the Animated Series, but if we're going to discount that because it's clearly so much better, it was probably Spider-Man for me. I loved that. Did like X-Men too, though. Alright, so yeah, I really wanted this. Is it good enough? Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. I'll let you know what I think. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. But before we get into the rest of the video, we have to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Into the AM. They are the elevated clothing company. They have all of these cool designs in the t-shirts. They have other things too, but I really focus on the graphic tees because I love them, and I think you guys will too. Most of you have bought them. Not most of you, I don't know. A lot of you have bought them and told me you love them. Some of you were telling me you're buying like 10 or 12 at a time. That's awesome. I have that many. I wear them every day. They don't fade. They don't wear out. They look amazing. They have a ton of new designs. This is one of them. This is one of them. I actually wanted to wear this one, but it's just a little bit less colorful, so I figured I would just show it to you, wear the colorful one, and then show you another colorful one too. These are some of their new ones. You guys have already seen all the ones I've been wearing. They have tons. They have tons of new ones, tons of old ones. They do sell out fast, but they do restock, so don't worry too much, but you do want to get in there. But yeah, you can get all kinds of different things on their site, and if you want to save some money, you can use the link in the description below. That'll save you some money. You can also bundle the graphic tees or the regular tees, or you can do the subscription service where you save even more money, but you don't get to pick the shirt. Totally up to you, but I definitely recommend you check them out. They're super comfortable, they look great, they fit great, can't beat them. Love these shirts. They are the best graphic tees I have ever worn, so check them out, link in the description below. This guy stands just about 6 1/4 inches, and that's going to make him roughly 16 centimeters. He's a little bit short. Here he is up against Darwin. Spider-Man is about 0.9 Darwins, so that's kind of small, especially for the animated look. He was built like a linebacker and in college, which is full-on adult size. That's not what this is, not even close. Here's a reference image from the show to show you how bulky he should be. It's not even close. It's not tall enough, it's not bulky enough, it's not remotely the right build. So that's a huge problem. If you don't care about that, then maybe the rest of the review will be helpful for you. If you do care about that, then you may need to just turn it off now, because it's not going to change. Alright, so that's a problem. Other things I've heard people say is that the coloring is off, and I have to say, I agree. This blue is too light. If it's going to be the animated series Spider-Man, this blue is too light. That's all there is to it. I personally don't mind it. I think it's fine. It's a fine classic Spider-Man, but if it is the show version, it is wrong. Alright, then the other thing we have to talk about, the reds don't match, per usual. This red for the chest is very different from the reds almost everywhere else, so that's another huge problem. And then we have the cell style shading, which most of you have been indicating that you hate on Marvel Legends, and I don't really care for it either. It was okay on Cyclops, it's been okay here and there, but mostly it's been bad. Is this one as bad as the worst one? No. I would say it's on par with Cyclops. There's some good to it in that it's a little bit more uniform, like in the upper body. It's okay. It's basically the same on both sides and down here under his boobages. But it's still not good at all. Like if you look, it doesn't really follow the sculpt. It's not on the muscles over here. It's just a big swoosh. And then it goes around to the back and just stops. It's weird. It's not good. It's not very purposeful. And then on the legs, even though this is uniform on both sides up here, on the legs it's very directional. So, I mean, this is technically directional. It would be like a top-down. This is from the side. And it doesn't follow the muscle at all on this side. On this side it does just a little bit. And then we have it on the lower legs on the sides too. It's so half-assed. Oh, and also the coloring. The blue I could live with, that's fine. Though, like I said, both blues should be darker. But the shading on the red is not good. They chose to use like a brownish purple. What the heck? You can barely see it, first of all. But it's also brownish purple. Ugh. It's on the insides of the arms, too. Looks awful. And then, here's the kicker. They used the blue shading for the pecs over here, but didn't switch. So there's just navy blue shading on the pecs on the red. So they didn't put the brownish purple there. They just went blue straight through. So it's like, what the heck? There's no shading on the face. It's trash cell shading. It's trash. It's horrible. So that blows, right? The web lines are pretty clean, at least clean enough for a Marvel Legends figure. All the way around, they're good enough, so that's fine. Let's talk about the head. I actually just saw the guy who drew this. Hang on. The guy who drew this for Hasbro for this box art. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram. I'll try to find it. I don't think I'm going to be able to because I don't know where I saw it. But he posted his original artwork for this. He had to recreate this look for this box. And then Hasbro had him change the eyes to match the figure, which is okay. However, the original one looked way better. So there's that to note. Now, here's the thing about the eyes, for those of you who are not super into little details and things, but are maybe interested in hearing about it now. These eyes are not inherently wrong. Half the time in the animated series, the eyes were drawn like this with this little extra little flutter sculpted or drawn into it, but half the time they were more traditional Spider-Man eyes, which is what I prefer. I'm not going to knock a point for it, obviously, because it's not wrong to do it this way. Here's what is wrong, though. The head sculpt is an abomination if you know what a human head looks like. It's going to be hard to tell while it's on the body, so I'm going to have to take it off the body to show you. But it comes to a point. Remember when Venom had a dolphin head? This is almost on that level. Look at the shape of his face. It comes to a point. There's no cheekbone. There's no face. It's the weirdest thing. And it throws off the look of the eyes so much. If it was just down here, fine. But there's no cheekbone. It's flat. Look at that shit. No one's head is shaped like that. Nobody's. Just the jawline. But they took the jawline and ran it straight up the side of the head. And he has no cheekbones, and so it screwed up the eye look. Big time. I mean, even the other eyes wouldn't have looked good on this head. If you have this in hand, just go like this. Feel it. Seriously, I'm not making a joke here. If you just run your finger on it, you can tell it's like someone took the sculpt and just mushed it. It's so weird, and it makes the head extra boxy from certain angles, too. They screwed the head sculpt. There, look at that. Look at the profile. Look at how it morphs into something that's not human-shaped as you turn it. The head sculpt is ridiculous. I know Darwin's exaggerated, but look at the difference in the shape. Because Darwin's head isn't right, for a normal human, but it does have bones that are mostly right. And Spider-Man does not. He's got a big porpoise head and no cheekbones. So I am bummed out about that head sculpt hugely. I could live with the eyes, because like I said, they're halfway accurate anyway. Half the time they're right. But that's a huge flaw. Nice paintwork around the back here. Also, they did like a line here. It's just so inconsistent. It's weird. They put a line here for the black shading, like in between the muscles. I don't think there's another line like that anywhere on the figure. A black line on the red for shading. I don't think I've found one yet. I still haven't, and I'm looking right now. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. So it's just so inconsistent and weird. They put like no effort into this. So basically everything's wrong about this other than the line work is clean enough and the eyes are painted cleanly. So 5 out of 10 for the aesthetic. It's not accurate in any way to the source material. And they did a bad job with what they did with the cell style shading and the sculpt of the head. So that's a problem. I do like that he has bulkier arms up here. That's good. But it doesn't match the rest of the figure. So yeah, it's a huge fail if you ask me. We're right in line with the VHS X-Men. Now, as far as accessories go, we have the 2 fist hands, we have the 2 thwipping hands, and we have some wall crawling hands. They're all fine. Nothing wrong with that. No gripping hands, however, so no web swinging. That's worth noting. But also no web swinging because we only got these 2 useless web splats, which I like the coloring. It's like a slightly off-white. I think that looks really good, and I like the sculpt. I just don't know what they're for. They're just web splats. They just sit there. They don't do anything. They're not human-shaped. Like, you can't put them over the shoulders like on the new PS whatever Spider-Man game figure that's $35. These just serve no purpose. So accessory-wise, 5 out of 10. We don't even get gripping hands. We don't get a web swinging web. We don't get anything useful other than wall-crawling hands and thwipping hands. So 5 out of 10. To me, this is a huge failure, again, at a price that doesn't justify it. All right, let's talk about the articulation. He does look up very well, so if you like that, that's really good. He looks down really well. He can rotate with the best of them. Does he lean well? No, he can't lean, because it's not a double ball peg, or even a single ball, well, it's a single ball peg, but it doesn't have any motion at all. So, it's just a swivel, basically, and then a hinge, which is probably good enough. Butterfly joint doesn't do much. That's as far in as it lets the arm go, so that's not very good. Going back, let me do it this way. Going back, the butterfly joint does work just a little bit again. It's one of their worst butterfly joints. It doesn't work well. Very little range. Shoulders go out to the side, no problem. Horizontal, or just better than horizontal, so that's good. Of course, you get your full rotation. Bicep swivel is okay, though it's a little shelfy. I don't know if you guys are going to see that. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the separation between the shoulder and the shoulder and the bicep, partly because the shoulder is too small. Double jointed elbows, by the way, pinless, so that's good. Better than 90, that's fine, but that's certainly not the best range we've seen, and since it's Spider-Man, it really should be. There's no figure in the Marvel Universe that should have better range than Spider-Man, as far as, like, people with bones. So that's kind of a bummer. Diaphragm joint on this guy, well, wrists have a swivel and a hinge, that's standard. Diaphragm joint does go back a little bit, goes forward just a little bit, almost no range. Side to side is acceptable, rotation is fine. Ab crunch goes back pretty far, but still that's as far as he can go. Darwin's abs suck, but let's see. Darwin has better range. Alright, going forward, it leans forward pretty far on that lower ab crunch, but that's still as far as he can lean forward with his abs and with that extra joint. So he beats Darwin there, but not by that much. And really, this doesn't look good. This is not a good look. So if you want to put him in any crazy poses, this is going to ruin it. It really should be a ball peg down here, then you wouldn't have any of this problem. So torso articulation is passable, it's fine, but it's nothing special, it's not great. Armored Daredevil is still going to beat it, I'm pretty sure. He does kick high, so that's nice. Hips work pretty well going forward. They go back just a touch. Out to the side, it's decent. It's decent. Marvel Select Red Hulk does this too. Spider-Man should have better range than this. He should be able to go full-on splits. There's no excuse for it at this point. Thigh swivel is a thigh swivel. That's pretty much standard. Double jointed knee does work nicely. You can still see the proportioning's a little bit weird. He's longer down here than up here, and that's not how it should be. But you do get good range out of the knee, so I'll take that. Boot swivel is a boot swivel. That's fine. Ankles go all the way back and all the way forward, and you get a solid ankle rocker, so that's good. So, articulation on this guy is underwhelming for a Spider-Man figure. For a run-of-the-mill Marvel character like Punisher, it's fine, but you need way more. Darwin shouldn't be able to keep up with you, and he's got horrible ab crunch. It's just not enough. It's not good enough. It's the wrong everything to begin with, and then it's not even well articulated. So I'll give the articulation for a Spider-Man figure a 6. For a regular Marvel Legends, maybe a 7, but this guy doesn't have any enhanced range anywhere compared to other figures that are better than him in the same line that are not Spider-Man. So there's just no excuse for it. So, time for the final verdict. If you might be able to tell, I'm a little bit disappointed in this release because it's exactly the same situation as the VHS X-Men figure that are Hasbro Pulse exclusive mostly. It's just not enough, and what is there is not good. It's not good. The whole thing's weird. I've just noticed this too. So he's got black lines here to make it look like muscles, but they aren't where the muscles are, and that spot right there on both sides and right here in the middle of the spider are the only place they did that. It's not shading, it's line work. But it's not really line work because it's nowhere else on the figure, so it's just weird. The whole thing is weird and half-assed, and it's just a Hasbro product through and through. This is the epitome of Hasbro at this point. They don't care about the collectors. Not the people making the figures, the people telling them what they can and cannot do. Those are the ones. They don't care at all. Which is no surprise, really, but it's starting to show in the product, and that's a problem. So I'm going to give this figure a final rating of 6 out of 10. It's not good. If it wasn't trying to be the animated series, fine. Maybe it'd get a 7. But this is nothing like the animated series Spider-Man from the 90s. And what they did do is not good. So there it is. I've said everything I can say about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.